There's a rule I call 1819. It's very important. It's about the three aspects of your life you want to focus on and how to prioritize them. A lot of people say in life you want to limit your goals to just a few and go whole hog on them, and I find that's true. In keeping with the spirit of minimizing your mental clutter, I give you the three directions you want to put work into. These three directions are the form by which you can accomplish your goals. The first number one stands for your master, your mentor, your teacher, your God. Whatever it is you look up to, you should have one main hero to emulate. And while you can have multiple mentors, having one set main leader will be beneficial to you. This is your one, and this one can teach you and lead you, so you must look up to and follow this one more than any other. I name this principle one because you want to clear the clutter and have one master so you don't get conflicting viewpoints and commands and ideas. Honor the one, obey it completely. In this way, you can become better at what you want to become better at and learn more. You want to have one main one because even if you have multiple mentors, teachers, or people you look up to, having one strong figure you look up to is going to be key in how you organize your life because you want to fully enslave yourself to three things. Your mentor, this is the one in 1819, the one you learn the most from. Your instincts, you have to obey completely. Your instincts are your master. You must learn to obey them completely. Ignoring them only brings ruin. Obey them as though they were your God, because they often are the voice of your God or gods. What they tell you to do, you do. You gotta trust your instincts on everything. If you don't believe me, time will tell you that your instincts are super important. I know there isn't a whole lot of dissent to that opinion. No one out there is saying not to trust your instincts, but still, it bears repeating. Trust your instincts and you'll go far. Next is your future self. Your future self is another person you need to enslave yourself to. Your future self's desires are your past's best interest. For example, saving money, rationing supplies, etc. If you ever encounter a chance to do a good turn to your future self, take it. Any good turn you can do your future self should be mandatory. This will help you over time to grow in knowledge, power, and happiness. You'll thank yourself over and over again every time you pay yourself. You'll get that payment in the future, and you'll say, "Oh, what's this? Something nice, something beautiful from my past self. I'm glad I paid my future self." Paying your future self is super important. Those are your three masters. If you learn to obey your mentor, your instincts, and your future self, you will climb uphill constantly to wherever you want to go. You'll be climbing uphill towards your goals instead of sliding down because if you don't do these things, it can be difficult to keep your head above water with numerous goals and directions your life will take. Following these rules may cause you to succeed where otherwise you would have failed. You have to trust your instincts. You have to have one good mentor whose advice you follow to the end of the earth, and you gotta do right by your future self. In essence, the three gods you must obey must be served through separate and distinct methods. Obey your instincts, learn from your mentor, and do right by your future self. It is my belief that if you do these things, your life will become much better. Following these three things is the rule of one master to obey, even though there are three directions. For each direction, it is still obedience to one master. In each case, just split as to how, but not in whole of purpose. Depending on what you prioritize, those with a religious background will have service to their master as highest, while the left-hand path might find your future self your best master. Know which one you prioritize, but prioritize one of the three. The rule of eight is next. I call it the rule of eight because it's easier to say than infinity. It's easier to write. The 8 in 1819 is an infinity symbol. There are an infinite sea of people doing infinite things all the time, so you gotta learn to play around the fact that there are people who are going to be as powerful, dedicated, and determined as you who might be enemies or allies. You'll treat them differently than you would your mentor and differently than you would your underlings, which is the 19. There will be people doing the same things you are, wanting the same things. They can either be competition or allies. You might ask yourself what is so special about what makes you special or different and play to that. You have to treat others the way they would treat you. Although one rule I tend to live by is when in doubt, give the benefit of it. If you don't know whether or not someone is going to be nice or cruel or thoughtless to you, do them the good turn. People will remember this and in general do right by you in return. This doesn't always happen, but it's worth it when it does. If you're constantly selfish, you will be punished for it by anything and everything, rightly so, in my opinion. Someone who can't do nice things for other people is toxic. That's the rule of eight. You gotta learn how to treat potential allies and friends kindly, but do to others as they do to others. If they're trying to eat your lunch, you want to eat theirs. Protect yourself, but be kind to those you don't know, and especially those who are kind to you, as well as your future self and mentor. The third rule I named 19, so named because it's the mind-lording ritual I will outline in a later video, which I recommend for your extension armies. 19 is the best mind-lording shape, and while it might be difficult to find 18 people in real life to mind lord with, you can make 19 extensions and have the center point act as your right hand. Alternatively, you can make 18 and act as the center point yourself, although I would recommend this against this in order to keep your options over when you want to make more than one similar group. Yes, you'll still have to do the ritual in its fullness, so make sure you name them all and rehearse. Well, even if you're only doing it with your extensions, it is possible to make hive mind shape out of any prime number, including 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 19, and so on. When it is 2, it is a bipolarity, twin souls. When it is 3, it's a trinity, etc. I'll get more into this in another video. You should have a group of people who are united under you doing your work. Even if you think you don't have servants, you can still make extensions, servitors, tulpas, egregores to do your bidding. You can have them as servants. You will treat your staff differently than you will treat your peers and superiors. That doesn't mean smugly or rudely, obviously, but differently. What I mean is you have to ask yourself, what am I going to improve on? You got to constantly be upgrading. If, for example, if you make a new extension whose job is to manage your other extensions because it's getting a big time consuming, or you're damaged astrally, you might want to heal your extension and nurse you back to health. Rest up before doing anything astrally strenuous if you're hurt, and listen to your healers, obviously. Over time, upgrading your armies and forces under you will reap huge benefits. This also applies to mentees. They are another thing you can upgrade when you can. Upgrading those below will bring you higher. Your power will grow as you upgrade your servants and mentees instead of waning or staggering. Upgrade the 19 below you and create a political machine below you and upgrade it constantly. Maybe you upgrade by hiring some person or creating a customized extension, teaching someone something, making an organizational change, giving a gift to someone. Making sure that the right people are working together on the right projects, making sure that data on the project is shared appropriately. Make sure your little machine you created is well oiled. If you create a political machine, the gears must be well oiled, and the gears obviously are the people working and revolving around each other to accomplish your will, whatever you set them to. Set them to new and important tasks as time goes on so that you're constantly having them practice. Over time, they'll learn how to do your will automatically without your constant input. And that's the time to change how and what you upgrade, but never stop upgrading. Build team cohesion, then see what else there is to upgrade. In this process, you will yourself learn how to manage your team and so on. They'll learn to act on their own as you learn how to manage, until you come to a point where you teach changes in nature, where what you teach changes in nature and substance because of your and their enhanced skill. One mistake to avoid making is to avoid removing people when you can give them another chance. Every time someone makes a mistake, they learn, and having made it, they are one step above someone else who might not have made that mistake yet. Constantly replacing people is going to cause others to leave, and it becomes like a boat filling with holes, and each hole you plug, you weaken the boat. Even if there's an upgrade is due and decide to replace someone, there's no guarantee that a replacement won't be worse and cause more people to leave, leaving you with more holes than before. Making mistakes is just a bad leaving the system. Every mistake you make, you lose a little bit of what caused the mistake and become more refined. Mistakes are just a bad leaving the system, especially if they're made during practice. Make sure you're constantly upgrading your machine, making it better, more refined, more powerful, etc. That's how the main three interact. You gotta have different rules for different interactions with different people who have different roles in your life. Respect your superiors, be kind to your equals, and upgrade your inferiors. You can't treat your mentor in the same way you treat your underlings. You can't boss them around. You can't treat your underlings like your mentor and obey them. While you can't take everyone's advice, often there's a large skill gap that keeps you abreast of everything that is the whole of their knowledge. But remember, everyone everywhere knows things you don't, and you should have respect for all life. If somebody's truly an underling, chances are you know bit more than they do, and when they try to give advice, you might end up giving more advice than they do, and you might want to avoid some advice if it's short-sighted or bad. For these three forces in your life, Your superiors, your equals, and your inferiors, there's a different way to act for each one, and maybe you want to keep a journal for each or something. It can't hurt. Interview, obey your mentor, please refute yourself as if it was your master and you are its servant or slave. Treat your equals and anyone near the equal bracket if they are slightly above or below kindly, but return cruelty and disrespect in kind. Constantly upgrade those below you, even if you don't think it will come in handy, because eventually it will. Your underlings might even in some cases evolve to become stronger and more powerful than you, and be able to do you favors or be a great ally, which might be a boon to you even where you didn't expect one when you were mentoring. I've had people that I've mentored and taught come back to me later and do the favor and return the favor. I left the video game scene having mentored several players. Some left. One of them continued to apply themselves to rise, and when I returned, he went from mentee to mentor and taught and helped me. Now I have them in the 1 category as a mentor instead of the 19 category, and this is now a great resource. And I have this resource now because I was willing to mentor somebody back then. Now I can be mentored myself. They say the shoes you step on today might be the ass you kiss tomorrow, and the reverse is also true. This is why you always have to upgrade below, be kind to equals, and obey superiors.